Hello everyone and welcome to LCS Proving Grounds powered by Verizon. It's the final day of our very first week and it's already been such an amazing time. My name is Sierra Dawn and joining me today is going to be Cubby, Rafa, and our special guest, Rudu. First off, I'm so glad you're joining us, Rudu. How are you?
You know, I'm doing well here across the pond. Excited to get PG action underway for today. We've had the playing stage, had the opening as well just yesterday. So more games in action. Really excited for the amateur teams today to see what they can bring. Our top two seeds across two streams today, focusing on 100x for us on this one. But I'm super happy, super ready to get the games going.
I'm glad that you're ready. The last couple of days have already been absolutely phenomenal here in Proving Ground. A couple of surprises already in our bracket as well. I love that the first couple of days we can start seeing some really fantastic things, Rafa.
Already, we had an amateur upset yesterday, and it was one match that I did not expect. The AoE Ginger Turmeric living up to the number 2 seed curse, taking down 100 Thieves Academy in such incredible fashion. 2-1 reverse sweep. Really big shout outs to Keel on the Karthus there. I mean, guys, if whoever goes up against him next week, whether it's Taco Game or Mortals Progressive, you have to respect that champion. You have to respect Keel as a presence and a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and maybe even Canyon watching some of the Keel VODs as well, getting DK a win with the Karthus last night. Love to see our top teams across the world looking at Proving Grounds on the new patch, guys, as obviously that was one encouraging pick. But no, I think that we came into PG with thinking about the back half of 2022 spring and the results of amateur versus academy, and I've been very impressed with some of the performances we've seen from our amateur teams, so I'm hoping that continues as it makes for an interesting tournament. 100 Thieves Academy going to the lower bracket, trying to emulate the run they had in spring. Already exciting. See if we get any more upsets today.
Yeah, I feel like the beginning of Proving Grounds is always a little bit difficult for our amateur teams because we get the play-ins and then that's where we see a couple of them drop, unfortunately, unable to make it quite into the next part of the bracket. But already, Rudy, considering the upset we've had and just how these players have been performing, any hot predictions on how amateur is going to be turning up in Proving Grounds in general?
You know, people say that it was an upset yesterday. I think that was maybe the quintessential definition of AoE Ginger Turmeric. Throughout the entirety of CQ2, I think that I've been quite vocal in the fact that they were either the best amateur team or one of the worst amateur teams. They were completely changed, really dependent on the day that they showed up on. And given that they were taking down now an academy team, this just goes to show you that the team, the level that they can play on, really can challenge these academy rosters. And outside of that, right, more hot takes, we're looking at what the two seeds that can was supposed to be the best coming out of amateur, what they can do tonight. I really do think that amateur, having netted maybe just 1-2 series in the entirety of Proving Grounds last split, this split I'm hoping for a sizable amount more. We're doubling that easily.
Okay. I like it. Well, to be starting off our pre-show, of course, I'd love hearing your thoughts, but we do have interviews that we've had in the past, and a chance to hear a bit more from our players is always something we like to appreciate. So let's check this out.
I mean, honestly, going into this series, I thought it'd be really easy, which, it pretty much was, outside of the fact that the second game I got a little bored, kind of started running it down, but the entire time I was just telling my team, it's fine, we'll still win. So, I don't know, it was a fun series at least.
A little bit weird, the durability patch coming in, and the now Ignar, and the sustain is being nerfed. I definitely think that we're going to see a lot of other top lane champs that maybe people haven't shown yet as we go forward more into the tournament. But as far as my picks are concerned, yeah, so when draft meeting happens, my coach generally asks me what I think is good, and then when I tell him what's good, he'll write them all down on kind of a dartboard, and then he'll close his eyes and he'll throw it. So for example today, right, they picked Gnar, and then he was like, okay, let's see what we're playing into Gnar. And then on the very bottom corner, it hit Silas. My coach isn't a good dart thrower, so it hit Silas, and I was like, oh, well, that's good. So
I think we have a few issues figuring out what we want to play. I think that's the thing. I feel like if you've watched our champ pool over the weeks, some weeks we'll pro one champ only, And for example, I had the streak where I played like 6 games of Lucian in a row, and then I played like Jinx only, and then before that I was playing Zeri. So like, I think we're pretty flexible. It's just like we're still trying to figure out like what we think our strongest champs are. So yeah, but I do think we're like probably the strongest duo in Academy. We'll have to see. I mean, obviously, it's hard to say that after we lost to TL 2 games last week, but I still feel confident against them.
The difference was knowing in game 1 I had no control over the game. Like I was playing Tahm Kench. I feel pretty useless on Tahm Kench, so I gave Duo King the honor of Senna, and he's a really good Senna player, I won't lie. But I feel like I couldn't do much on Senna. I mean, on Tahm Kench. So like the next 2 games, I was like, just lock me in Draven. I've been spamming the crap out of the Draven. And I think Lucio has a mental block on Draven. From like knowing him for a while, like the champion just has a full mental block against him. So I was like, just pick me at every game against this team, and we'll just like win, you know? And that was that. Yeah, I mean, this whole year has been like quite the trip. Like it all kind of started with me winning like scouting grounds, the last scouting grounds ever, and I got getting picked up by 100 Thieves, having a long like 4 months like grinding and playing like on that team, getting second place in the end, coming short from 1 win off of winning all proving grounds, and then being teamless was kind of rough. Yeah, it always feels bad to think about it, but I use it as a motivation sometimes to just like never want to lose again. You know, I don't want to lose that way again. I want to feel like I want to have control over things, and I feel like being an amateur more, talking to more people, I feel like I've shown like a way I can like lead a team and how I can like take resources and carry and put responsibility in my hands more often. So I think that's helped me a lot stepping down to like amateur throughout this year.
Always great hearing from our players, and I want to hear a bit more from our special guest here, Rudude. Anything standing out in particular from any of those interviews?
You know, firstly, gotta respect the dart game from Bradley's coach. Quite a fan. You know, champion wheeling and quite like that. Gotta show some props. Sometimes maybe head into something a little bit different with the picks. Sometimes I would love to see as well. I think that Wixie's interview was actually really insightful also. And when I saw the Tahm Kench pick for them yesterday, I was kind of like, well, maybe this could just be the quick 2-0 that a lot of people were expecting. As soon as you put him on some AD carries, though, I felt like that was such a big change, not only for AOE Ginger Turmeric in terms of their roster, picking up Wixie for their bot lane, but also just putting him on a champion where he's got a lot of agency really does sort of lead to why they were able to take that 2-1. Good to get a little bit of insight behind the scenes as to how that all came to be as well.
Yeah, even in the interview, I'm not sure if it showed it, but he threw in a little chirp at Busio that he has a mental block against Draven. And if you know Wixie from the Cloud9 amateur days and even a little collegiate back at Harrisburg, he was a big Draven player. So slotting into this meta, it fits like a glove for Wixie to just step back in and all the pieces aligned. And you know, obviously there's a lot more pieces from AGT as a whole that contributed to the reverse sweep, but still one of those things. And I love to see Wixie firing back with that spirit and just proving himself literally in these proving grounds.
Yeah, well, something that I want to talk about that we haven't quit on yet, in that little bit of a, as you'd call it, upset that we saw yesterday, we didn't talk about any potential curses. I want to put you each on the spot. Do you believe in curses, left or right?
Ooh, I don't really believe in curses. I do believe in conspiracy theories, and I did find one yesterday. So,
yes or no, Cubby? Answer the damn question. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Rudy?
I have to. Yes, 100%.
All right. Save here. And I mean, a little difficult not to, considering the second seed curse that we have going around. Let's check this out.
Getting eviscerated by Barrage. Ladies and gentlemen, Barrage, are they going to actually do it? Are they going to take down the second seeded Academy team? Ooh. They take down Yon, and with only our male.
Golden Guardians Academy knocking at the base of Cloud9 as the hopes of C9 moving forward are also gone.
Moose Hater chasing down Tenacity. This could be it, Smacks. The greatest upset in amateur history against the Academy teams.
It's an ace for the Academy squad, and that could just be the game.
So there's a couple things that we do play for at Academy, and I think going forward, playing to not be second seed, literally anywhere but second seed. First is okay, third is fine, but just rooted, not second.
No, exactly. There's I'm not quite sure if this transcends continents, but there's like a popular rhyme over here: first the worst, second the best. That is actually just the flip side in Academy, right? Where you have this dichotomy of if you come in first, traditionally, maybe not looking so good. But in second place for Academy, it proves to be this really big curse. And there were some varied results as well, I will say, for those second seed teams. You know, making it to finals, I would not call a curse by any means. But getting knocked out 2 games, 2 best of 3s, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, also shout out to Smacks, who did cast the first round upset of all 3 2 seeds in the 3 Proving Grounds where they did drop from Academy. So that's the true conspiracy and inside job from Amateur. Smacks was in on it the entire time, guys.
We set in one of our best.
It's all on him. Yeah, all on Smacks.
There's curses, there's conspiracy theories, there is too much going on right now. Thankfully, though, in terms of our Academy teams, Team Liquid Honda ending up first and not second means they were spared from the curse, but it doesn't spare them from us talking about them on broadcast at length, and specifically betting on how much they were going to be losing in Proving Grounds going forward. I love the results that we managed to grab from our talent because it's very varied, I think is a very good way to put it. I'm specifically looking at beatdown with the 6, but Rooted, being our guest, we don't have yours. I want you to let us know now how many losses you think Team Liquid Honda is going to take in Proving Grounds.
Okay, now, before I get into this, I have to say, right, one time on the show, I've got to make a bit of a splash. I think Team Liquid losses are 4, and that is because they're going to get 1, lower bracketed in the best of 3 stage, and then B, they're going to reverse sweep win in the finals.
Ooh. Okay. I like that, Rooted. I got to say, for me, I went with 2. I think the TLA are our dominant squad. But, you know, I went with 2 because there's going to be one game where, you know, they lose to whatever team they're facing as opposition. And, of course, another game, they're just going to lose themselves, as that's been the story for Team Liquid the entire split. They've been our top dogs. They've been very self-critical of their play when they do drop some games. And, yeah, I really think that after yesterday's games, the dominance of TLA really was just cemented in our expectations for this PG.
And I like that the diehard Team Liquid fan, Joshi, says 0. They're going to be perfect all the way through. Smacks and Kangas are in that camp, and I know Joshi has been a very diehard advocate for this team ever since the summer after they won Proving Grounds. I just want to give a shout out to Beatdown for 6 losses from Team Liquid.
For the heart attack,
but I thought about it for more. I was like, oh, he's from Toronto. He's from the 6, you know, so it all adds up, you know. And a Beatdown
what is that supposed to mean?
What? Wait.
Busted.
No. It's the area code. You know, the 6. Toronto, man. So it's just, he's putting it together, Sierra.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This might be a little too much. See,
What do you mean? It's just Toronto repping, man. And also,
the Canadians firing back.
Beatdown is also a huge amateur advocate. I think he was cheering extremely hard when AGT pulled out the reverse sweep, and I think Beatdown also had a high list or a high number of amateur wins for this split as well. Not as high as Smacks. Smacks had 10, I think. So
Smacks a true believer, that's for sure.
I respect the hopium. You know?
Exactly.
Coming from Hopium himself, Mr. JoJo inspired top 5 around the world.
Oh no. See, I went for the 2 because I've seen Team Liquid Academy just pop off after taking a loss and have never really lost that game too. I did, however, in sending my message to Kelsey for how many losses, I did say they were going to take both of their losses to 100 Thieves, which is already faring pretty poorly for me. So,
hey, could be 100 Thieves next.
I didn't clarify. Thank you. I love the loopholes. I love the loopholes. All right, going on into today's broadcast, of course, we got to take a second to narrow in on what games we are going to be following over on the LCS channel. It all starts with FlyQuest Academy going up against Golden Guardians, followed by Evil Geniuses up against 100 Thieves. Next, then, of course, on the other channel, twitch.tv/academy. It's going to be Talk Gaming and Immortals and CLG up against ESM. So it should be a fun day all around, especially since these are the last 4 games in round 2 of our upper bracket. And of course, to follow along on all of our Proving Grounds action and to let us know your opinions, make sure to follow the Path to LCS channel over on Twitter. We post the content, we post how the teams are doing, and we want to hear from you as well, because there is some takes being thrown around, specifically beat down with the 6 Team Liquid losses, as well as Rafa just coming after Toronto and Canadians as a whole.
I'm not coming after Toronto and Canada. I've been to Canada twice, and I would move to Canada as well. Like, Canada's awesome.
All right, so a traitor to your country. I got that.
Okay.
I love Sierra desks. Sierra desks are the best. My favorite. Rudy, you having fun yet?
We woke up and chose murder today. I love this.
Rudy's like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? That's okay. All right. Let's start talking about Golden Guardians Academy and FlyQuest Academy, because I feel like Golden Guardians heading into this is a team that's very much so, what have they gotten themselves into? Because this was a team that definitely wasn't doing so great over in Academy whatsoever. We got to see a couple of good things coming at the end of Academy, and then all of a sudden some big changes coming heading into Proving Grounds with that roster.
Yeah, a big surprise, and something that we oftentimes talk about in Academy is sometimes the Academy rosters are in service to the LCS team. With that late addition, the buyout of River, trying to find how they can fit the 4 imports they have in the roster and the 3 slots that are available to them, we're going to see a couple roster swap-ups, potentially. And at the moment, it means that Ablaze Olive is playing in Academy, and the positional coach for support, Hustlin, someone that did compete in the LFL, lost in a finals to K-Corp. Unfortunately, K-Corp not in EU Masters. We'll let Rudy talk more about that, potentially, as we move forward. But
K-Corp fans molding right now.
Yeah, I got to say, it's a different look for GGA, and we're going to have to see how they come together late in the season. I think that their win over EGP, ABO was massive in that series, but FlyQuest Academy is a different beast.
Yeah, they are. But if we're going to talk about Beast, then let's start off talking about Concept, because I know this is a player that we wanted to be highlighting going into today. Also, I got to say, different Beast in the fact that finishing his computer science degree before pursuing League. All right, let's go. There's a couple different paths in life.
Nice.
I respect that.
Chicago
and also respect
enjoyer.
his play. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hey, we already talked about Toronto. It's my turn, baby.
All right,
Who's
Rafa,
from England now?
go ahead and make fun of Cubby for
Oh, I have a
Chicago
teapot
stuff.
behind me. Can
It's
I
your
get that?
time. Oh no. But I mean, this has been a player, considering how much GGA has struggled in Academy. I don't want to be too mean, I don't want to be too harsh, but there has been some
you're right.
kind of moments. But he's been a big part in making sure that when there was an upset, Rafa, that was possible.
I mean, have you heard the legend of the bonk? I mean, we can play the clip again, later today on the show. But Concept has a champion pool that is rivaled by no one else. He refuses to play meta champions, but he can recognize very distinct situations where, oh, Nasus is really good here. Oh, Urgot is really good here. Mundo's really good here. And a lot of times teams don't prepare for them because who the plays these champions anyway? Concept does, right? So, and Concept will often be so instrumental in some of Golden Guardians' greatest upsets while they've had a very abysmal split.
And I think the nice part about
Rafa, you've
Concept
been
is that
teasing
he's
me.
also the tease.
The legend
You
of the
want the
bonk
spice,
has been
Rudy?
told to me about 7 times, and I've never once seen it. Every single time I get in a call with Rafa, every time he's like, "Have you heard about the bonk yet?" I'm like, "No, Rafa, show me." And every single time he says,
I'll send it to you
I'll
right
get you
now.
the clip. Just 1 second, Rude.
Get your
Just
point
1
in,
second,
Cubby.
Rude.
I'll
I'm still
send it to
waiting.
Rude.
Can we not wait 5 minutes, Rafa? 5 minutes, I beg of you. Let's get through this first. Let's talk a little bit about FlyQuest first, and then you two can share your memes and inside jokes, and it'll be all fine and dandy. Rooted though, even if Rafa's not sharing the clip of the past with you, I'd love to you could share your thoughts about this roster, this team, and their chances going forward in the series.
Yeah, I think FlyQuest coming into this series, certainly for me at least, the favourites who I would expect to take this win. UG in particular has been looking like a pretty powerful powerhouse in that jungle. And I think that through the last split, or the last week rather, of Academy, we saw a bit of a step up from Kumo and Tomo in particular. I can remember Kumo pulling out the Yone numerous times and just being mesmerised by the performances he was pulling out. There were numerous engagements up in that top lane that sometimes went his way, sometimes didn't. I remembering him against a Gragas, and that was a hectic, chaotic matchup on every single side. Both of the two sort of carries in the side lanes stepped up in that week 7. If that form continues through to PG, I really think this team can challenge, be a top 4 squad in the entirety of this tournament.
All right. I like the claim there. Cubby, was that just a jaw drop? Is that? Oh, I don't know about this. What's that?
No. I had FlyQuest top 4 in my August absurdity bracket. I must say, I think what Rooted is spitting, I'm pretty aligned with. And I think it's gonna be a good test for FlyQuest today, because I think, given their week 7 performance, it was a dominant 6-0. They looked so much better, but we did see them slip up a little bit in the middle of the season. So I'm really hoping we get week 7 FlyQuest from our Academy regular season showing up in Proving Grounds. And I have a lot of faith in this team. Some of the experience they have, the leadership from Diamond, but also Yuji and Spyrax continue to step up as rookies, and Spyrax really going to be tested today going up against ABO.
Yeah, and Yuji, someone that multiple members on our Academy team have talked about at length. And I know Mad Magical is Yuji's biggest fan, despite Rafa's claims to maybe be so.
I proclaimed Yuji first in spring. I pushed for him when we were talking about most valuable prospect. So, like, Magical is just jumping on the bandwagon after I already set up the hype for Yuji. I just want that to be known clear. But I'm glad that more people are recognizing how cool and how awesome doesn't seem like the right word, but just think of a word for awesome, but just 10 times more than that, because Yuji is so intelligent and he thinks about the game from a very, very tactical level, and much more than a lot of our rookie junglers that have come in this split. A lot of them have insane mechanics. Yuji does too. He's known for playing assassins like Kiana and Zed in solo queue, but transitioning into Academy 5s, he has shown that it's not just about fancy mechanical plays and being able to hand check your opponents. It's about being at the right place at the right time, knowing when enemies are going to go for certain plays and being there to counterattack, to be there for the response and getting a much bigger advantage than the enemy would have in the first place.
And that's been the big part of developmental growth we've seen from Yuji, because we knew that he had the mechanics, but I think in spring he was getting a little bit lost on the map. I know that in the offseason, he went back to his home country of Mongolia, and as you saw in the fun fact, you have 100+ ping playing to any region from there. So Yuji actually said he took that time from the interviews to watch a lot of solo lane streamers that played on the Chinese super server and learned how lanes played out. And when he came into this split, his ability to read the map and hover lanes at the right time was so drastically improved. It was really impressive to see out of someone coming into his second split. And I love how you were talking about the intelligence of Yuji, because that's been the big part of growth from him in this split. And I think that if Yuji can play like that throughout PG, that's going to be a huge asset for FlyQuest moving forward.
Yeah, even in that last clip there, even though he's not making a quote-unquote big play or a big kill, it's how he views the map and sets up a situation where they have complete topside control. They're only 5,000 gold ahead. A lot of our teams, like 100 Thieves Academy or even Cloud9 Academy, will struggle with mid-game leads like those and try to figure out, okay, how do we close the game out from here? And it takes like mid-game objectives. FlyQuest is one of the few teams where Yuji knows how to play the map and say, hey, if we force Kevy to the other side of the map, there's nothing for him to do on the top side of the map. We can force a Baron right here, and just recognizing the champion strengths that they have in that certain situation. It's just incredible that Yuji can read those situations and set up for them, unlike any other jungler that we have in Academy. Probably the only one that has that experience is Armeo, right? Because Armeo consistently does that for Team Liquid Academy, and that's why they're the best team.
Yeah, real quick, Rooted, are you on the UG hype train? Are you convinced?
Yeah. Firmly on board, fortunately. I bought myself a ticket a long time ago and have been happily riding along ever since. Quite happy to, make these declarations. Yuji has been, first of all, always happy when there's variance to the jungle meta. And even if the jungle meta doesn't necessarily evolve around assassins, the fact that you have a player on your team that can, at a whim's notice, think, this is a good talent angle. You were praising Concept on Golden Guardians for being able to pull out these niche picks. It's something that Yuji brings to the FlyQuest squad in the jungle, a different role, but something that you can always utilize in a team.
A lot of talk about Yuji, a lot of positive things. And we do have a little clip to hear Yuji's own thoughts.
Maybe I think it's just like knowing where to be and knowing what to do in the game, I guess, and what to do in the fights. I would say probably like shot calling and communication, I guess. Because at first I wasn't like talking that much and I wasn't like calling for anything. I was just like playing the game. And right now I would say I make most of the shot calls in the team and I think it feels like game plays around me. I would say probably playing on low ping, I guess. Because when I'm in Mongolia, it's like every server is like 100 ping, so I would say the ping.
All right, so now with champs like just around the corner, Rudude, Golden Guardians, and FlyQuest. How are you feeling about this matchup in particular?
Yeah, came in and I think that I'll stand with the FlyQuest should be your victors for this one. I do think that Golden Guardians bringing down a Blaze Olive does add a certain element to this roster that people may not be anticipating that are associating with the Golden Guardians Academy roster, right? You've got this LCS player who's dropping down into the team, and that does bring a certain caliber of presence that you would expect. And I also want to, shout out the praises of Hustlin as well. Like we mentioned Cubby earlier, that he'd been in the LFL finals, the LFL certainly a region on par, doing a very good job over there as well. So making that statement and being able to transition that over, not just as a player, but also as a coach in the positional role, he's going to know exactly what he needs to be doing better and how he can impart that into these games. And I think that it may give this series a lot more credence to being that tight 3-gamer, as opposed to just it's these two teams, it's a 2-0.
I hope it's going to be all 3 games for this one. It'll be awesome to see. And it is time to hop into the game. Rudude, it's been fun. We're going to disappear. Cubby and Rafa, we'll catch up with you later.
Bye, guys. See you at the end of the game. Let's get things started here, Cubby. A couple other names that I want to keep tabs on as we progress through the pick and ban phase is actually Array. Being one of them, and then Tomo on the other side as well. Because Array being one of our newer prospects coming into the Academy scene, first split of the year, it's hard to kind of make yourself stand out when the landscape of the roster has changed so many times over the summer. But even in the last some of the few games, the janitor cleanup duty that Array shows is and his position in team fights, absolutely impeccable.
It's been an interesting split for Array, because as a rookie marksman, he's played with 3 different supports, with Chime going to TSM, Prismal was stepping in, now Hustlin as well. And I think Array, credit to him, despite all the changes, I really think Array's actually scaled throughout the split. Talking with Array before the series, he even highlighted that, saying that, hey, you know what? Like, start of the split, we weren't playing good. Some of that was on me too. I had to learn how to play the map at the Academy level. We heard people like Soul talk about what that jump's like from amateur to Academy.
Yeah.
I think Array has finally gotten to the point where, he's really contributing to the wins, and I'm hoping we get to see more of that Array in Proving Grounds, but we got to get to the draft, Rafa, as it is a TLYA first pick for FlyQuest.
And this can be either for UG or Spyrex. Both have shown really solid looks. I've been a fan of UG's TLYA in particular, but I know that Spyrex looks his best when he is on champions that can roam early, give agency so that he can empower and facilitate the rest of the lanes. Ari being one of those champions that Spyrex has looked great on. Also something that a Blaze Olive looked really solid on in a win that Evil Genius's Prodigies were close to closing the lockdown on had it not been for a Blaze Olive's Ari.
Viego plus Ari, reset comp for GGA. Because of that, I actually would love to see a Tom Kench here. And I'm really curious what Golden Guardians has in store for this Aphelios, because if I'm scouting FlyQuest, one of the things that jumps off the page at me, Tomo, 7-2 on Aphelios. His Aphelios is and has been fantastic this split. And I really want to see what Golden Guardians has prepped, but I was asking for the Tom Kench. Looks like Spyrax has something else in store. He loves the Yasuo into Ahri matchup. He's going to be taking it into ABO.
You know, Spyrax was someone that when we first saw him come from the collegiate scene, Maryville University, into FlyQuest Academy, we knew that he was spectacular in some of the control late game mages like the Victor and the Rise during the collegiate scene. But man, stepping it up and putting more games on the Yasuo. I know it's been hit or miss during the spring, but during the summer, being able to see this matchup now is super exciting.
I really like his Yasuo, 2-1 on it in the summer. Interesting decision, though, from GGA in the draft. They're going to take the Gnar. Concept, something that I, really credit Concept for. We talked a lot about his wide champion pool and very unique champion pool. He's actually really rounded it out with some meta picks in the summer. Gnar being one of them. He has been spamming the ever-living crap out of this champion in Champs Queue as well. With some of the games I've been able to spectate. Shout out to Whooply for getting us that privilege sit in Champs Queue games as Academy casters. Concept's really been grinding. And the fact they took the Gnar here instead of something like a Jinx or a Misfortune to counter the Aphelios, it means that Array is going to have to dig deep into his champion pool to deal with this Aphelios that's been so good for both Tomo and Diamond this split.
And see how Golden Guardians now rounded out for Array and Hustlin, because as you've noticed, both of their champions have not been locked in yet. There's a couple of marksmen that I've been looking at. FlyQuest already banning one of them in the Misfortune. Lane Bully and Lane Dominant marksmen seem to be the rage with the changes on 12.14.
Pike tells me they want to take Tom Kench, potentially on 4. So we'll see if it's a Jinx or a TK ban here from the side of FlyQuest, as I think the Pike ban, it would deny the TLYA Yasuo combo from playing very fast. That's free resets. And we've seen Pike really jump up in priority. So TK being taken off the board. We may see something like a Jinx Rakan. And I think Jinx for Array, that champion, it's still up. It feels like a no-brainer answer into the Aphelios. You have the range advantage and can play into the reset comp that GGA has. So we'll be locked in. We'll see if what Diamond ends up pulling out, as could just be a Renata.
Yeah, already Golden Guardians Academy. Anytime I see a team lock in a Jinx, I'm always asking, is there burst to get resets? And you have a ton of it already. Viego and Ahri are going to give you all that burst damage and control. And normally, you also want some safety with this Jinx. But if everyone is moving forward and there's multiple threats, then FlyQuest need to find ways to counter those threats and be able to peel for Taliyah and Aphelios. This Silas pick, though, going to Kuma in the top lane. So we still need a support from Diamond to round this out.
Gnar was nerfed this patch. Silas was not. We've seen Silas be picked when Gnar is only showing. So Kumo taking this Silas, that's big for that matchup. And we're gonna have to see what Diamond ends up going with TK being off the board.
Nice.
Renata, that is the support champ. So now for Hustlin, I want to see if they get creative here. I really like Enchantresses into Renata that can scale. I think that they have engaged with Ahri Gnar, so we'll see what Hustlin ends up digging down for. He did play Braum and Renata versus EGP. First games we saw him play really in this season, as it was Season 11 on the side of Hustlin in LFL, as it will be the Leona lock-in. Give Silas another good ultimate, but more engaged for GGA.
Okay, well, Golden Guardians Academy, before the Leona had been locked in, were lacking on reliable engage. It's mostly a pick composition between Spectrum Maul and Charm being the main ways you get onto a single target. Well, now, Solar Flare becomes your new best friend for Golden Guardians Academy. If you lock down one specific target, you blow them up, and then the resets come crawling in for all three, Acadian, Ablazov, and Array. For FlyQuest Academy, I see this composition. You have a couple of knockups reliably to look off of. Seismic Shove from Yuji, and maybe if Kumo can grab Concept's Gnar, that can be a massive wombo as well.
And for me, I know that we had a lot of hype between the different players. We focused on Yuji and Concept a bit in the pre-show, but all eyes for me are on Spyrax going up against a Blaze Olive coming in. His Ahri was really big against EGP. This is a matchup that Spyrax is comfortable in. And, talking to Spyrax before, he said, hey, I don't usually think about my opponents that much, but it is a Blaze Olive. We have to be careful about his champs. It's very different from Leader, and we're going to have to see if Spyrax is up to the challenge, as ABO being a really solid LCS player the last couple of years. Good test for Spyrax and FlyQuest to try and take down GGA.
This is a potential milestone for Spyrex to achieve if he is able to best a Blaze Olive in lane, and if he is able to transcend that advantage onto the rest of the map, because Yasuo is not the type of champion that is similar to Ahri and Talia, where you're getting off the map early and you're looking to roam. You are looking to really continue leveling up that lead for yourself, and you're asking the rest of the map to facilitate you. You are the big star. You're the big playmaker with the rest of the team. But we're going to see how this plays out as we head on to the rift between FlyQuest Academy and Golden Guardians Academy for Game 1. Normally, at this point in time, Cubby, I'm assuming now that you're used to the fan cheers in the LCK Lowell Park Stadium at this point. So that's what I was given space for. But, you know, maybe we can just make up our own chance for FlyQuest and Golden Guardians Academy.
We'll let Twitch chat take care of it, hopefully. As two of our Academy teams going toe-to-toe, I must say. Both have scaled a little bit in the back half of the season. The roster changes for GGA throws another wrench in that, but we will see if they are up to it. As I know from talking with Array, spoke very highly, especially of a Blaze Olive stepping in, saying that, you know, the leadership that he brings to the team, his mentality for helping not only himself, but the entire team improve around him is something that Array feels like, you know, has helped them level up. And sometimes getting different pieces in, you know, everyone has different thoughts about the game. And having a lot of really good voices in the room, something that is always helpful for any sport, profession. Yeah. Definitely something that ABO brings to the table with this team. We'll see if GGA can ride that and try and upset our number 5 Academy seed as the 10 seed.
So I want to talk through the early game here, because we haven't really touched on at what points are certain champions stronger than others when the two teams are looking to really make big plays. Normally, with the changes to Dragons and individual Drakes also being stronger and Rift Herald giving local gold, how do you really see both of these teams want to play out and prioritize these two objectives in the game?
I'm really curious about the team fights and objective setups, because I think Golden Guardians have a little bit of an easier to execute team fight composition, but I really like the opportunities that FlyQuest have to play in the side lane. So I think early, maybe ganks around the Ahri before she dings 6 could be very powerful for Spyrax, that combo with Yuji. And I think moving forward, FlyQuest need to win out on these side lanes to help with the objective setup. Because if it is a standard setup, the range advantage and the easier execute team fight comp from GGA will reign supreme.
Golden Guardians Academy then really going to be looking forward to a Blaze Olive trying to get out of this lane against Spyrax, someone that GGA looking for a Blaze Olive's experience and a little bit of veterancy to, even if he can't necessarily win the lane matchup, see if he can find windows where Spyrax, due to the inexperience, can find the timer to assist the side lanes, get that advantage so that you are the stronger team entering those objectives around the Dragon Point. First one is spawning at 5 minutes, Rift Herald spawning at 8. And already, Acadian looking to maybe facilitate the mid side of the matchup.
Yeah, both junglers going bot to top. I will say it should favor Acadian, as mid does have shove at the moment along with top. So Yuji will get double crabbed. Acadian wants to shift towards the bot side, and Golden Guardians taking advantage of some of the early laning prowess they have, especially in their top side with that Gnarl, with that Ahri. FlyQuest will need some levels in order to try and turn things back in their favor.
Already, the control from Golden Guardians Academy, as you already noted, it is assisting most of the members of GGA. Note here that Yuji is hanging around the back pocket of Kumo. So if Concept ever gets a little too far forward, Yuji was there just to cover, but making sure also that Kumo would be safe pushing out this lane. But the tracking experience from Yuji is giving him the heads up that Acadian should already be back on the bottom side of the map looking for the reset. I don't think they're okay.
Nice trade, nonetheless.
You know, if I was Mad Magical, I in my head I could see Diamond just like flashing forward and looking for a handshake, getting aggressive. You know, going for blood, looking for violence.
Putting yourself in the head of Mad Magical is a dangerous place, Bravo. But
true.
I'm glad that you know, we're trying to see some blood on the Rift. Unfortunately, I think it will be quiet early. Golden Guardians nice part for them, again, Ahri plus Gnar, rather self-sufficient laners, and resets will be very important for Golden Guardians moving forward. I think one of the big difference makers, though, in the team fights that we haven't hit on yet, this Renata for Diamond. It is a dive composition coming out from Golden Guardians. A big hostile takeover. That can turn everything in favor of FlyQuest. So, something to look out for in these fights, as FlyQuest will have to try and brawl with GG. Nice concept.
Diamond's been a big fan of Renata ever since the champion first came out during the spring. Was one of our first, if not our first person that adopted the Renata in Academy and really pushed for it. We're going to see how well he can use it to escape a 2v3 gank, as Acadian is already on the way. Nice handshake, pushing Hustlin out of the Zenith Blade. The Spectrum Wall will come out onto Tomo, gets the cleanse out. Now it's the Flens that's required to be able to escape. Both summons now out of Tomo, but for him and Diamond, they're both alive.
Honestly, wonderfully played from the bot lane of FlyQuest, as some nice mechanical moves there from both Tomo and Diamond. Still going to be Summoner Spells burned, so that is a lane that Golden Guardians can revisit, but UG seeing them happening on the bot side of the map. He's going to try and pressure Concept, who has Flash, has TP, trying to get out, and looks like he will be able to base.
Yeah, UG could not commit to the dive. The wave was not pushing him fast enough.
About it. Silas has 6.
They see Acadian on the Raptors here, so they would have to move fast. And instead of moving for the dive, they know the Concept already teleported. He's got a big wave to be occupied by. They're going to see if they can catch out Acadian in rotation here. Still on the ward, and Acadian might just face check into danger here.
Man.
Yuji and Kumo playing around, making sure. Here comes the upstun upduck. Oh, but Acadian! Beautiful read and reaction on Kumo's attempted pick. And now Blaze Olive looking to turn around, flashing forward with the Spirit, rushing the Charm onto Yuji. Oh my god, Cubby! Golden Guardians Academy already looking for first blood. But they got to reset onto Acadian. It's going to be up to Kumo to turn things around now. They're on the wrong side, but Concept goes Mega. Huge Mega Gnar into the wall. Spyrex is now in deep trouble. Gets a boulder hurled at him, but he dodges it. And Diamond has joined the party. He's here. Maybe he can turn it around. Spyrex dodging everything. And he's got the bailout for Diamond just in case. Oh baby, it's an all-out brawl. And I thought Golden Guardians had the upper hand, but it's FlyQuest that turned it all around.
And it was all to 3v4, Rafa. Diamond was so late to the play. Hustlin had first move. And FlyQuest, some of the individual plays we see from these members in the skirmish, fantastic, as it's a whiff onto Acadian. But a Blaze Olive knows, hey, we have Hustlin here. This is a 3v4. We should win this. ABO uses Flash Charm. They take Yuji out early, but look at how big Kumo and Spyrax go as that NATO hits all 3. They delete Hustlin. Spyrax on the back half. His ability to buy time as well. I mean, he eats this charm, the flash though, and then the dash back to his teammate while Kumo executes ABO. This is such good play from the soul laners of FlyQuest, and it's a huge lead they have on the map now.
Yeah, thinking for FlyQuest, as soon as the jungler goes down, a lot of the times we've hyped up about this team that it's been about Yuji. It's been the Yuji show. But huge credit to Spyrex and Kumo stepping up and buying so much time for Diamond to be able to come in and rectify the odds there. That could have been so disastrous for FlyQuest. It could have been huge for Golden Guardians Academy. But in the end, it's a 4-for-1. And FlyQuest walking away from that a solid 1,000 gold lead advantage. And with this in mind, let's see if they can continue leveraging this advantage as we get closer and closer to objective fights. Both Herald and Drake have spawned at this point in time.
And just returning that last fight one more time, too. I mean, one player that we were really hoping to step up as this split went on, it was Kumo. You know, having all that LCS experience, we felt like Kumo was, you know, just the middle of the pack, top laner that really wasn't making a stamp on the games. This is the first Silas we've seen from him this split. He has 3 kills to his name, was massive in that fight, and has a big opportunity to be the carry for FlyQuest. Has some good ults to grab as the Silas. Have to see what Kumo can do in this one.
Acadian and Blaze Olive keeping Spyrex busy in the mid lane as they transition their power, looking for a dive onto the bottom side of the map. A Blaze Olive going to be a little late to the party. Acadian might delay some time here looking for some camps. And the pressure is read by Diamond and Tomo as UG already took the Rift Herald on the top side of the map. And Acadian says, instead of a dive, let's just go for the dragon, get some buffs on our side, and work towards that Drake Soul Column.
That was really well played from the bot lane of FlyQuest. They only lose the cannon but they knew that ABO, Acadian were hovering. They knew their team was on Herald. That's some of the experience from Tomo and Diamond really shining. Just knowing that, hey, if we back off, once we see Ari reappear mid, because Spyrex had pushed, that's when we can step up, grab the wave, and because of that, FlyQuest opened up a big gold lead and have Shelly in their back pockets to try and get first brick too.
That local gold also going over to UG helps him hit that first power spike of the game for Taliyah. And that usually hits the hardest for Taliyah on this patch so far. The Luden's Tempest being completed, an extra amount of burst power. You come in, and if you are assisting either Spyrex or Kumo, you are for sure either killing Concept or Blaze Olive respectively, or at least forcing the flash, and that can lead to a first brick.
We've yet to see that Weaver's Wall, so we'll see if Yuji is able to pull it out. Also, Luden's plus double 9 on Taliyah, always really big, so you can always rotate out. Oh, hold on, Concept.
Whoa! Kumo! Blinking, you might miss the Cubby. Oh boy, Kumo just destroys Concept in the 1v1.
Oh, we said he was ahead of the matchup, but Kumo, man, gives Concept a taste of his own medicine, uses the Meganar, bashes him against the wall, takes him down. As, again, this Silas, we've seen Silas across the world be blinded. We saw it B1 last night in LCK. Especially if there's a Gnar showing, that's grounds for taking Silas. I think the Golden Guardians thought that Kumo didn't play it. But Kumo picking it up this game, playing that first commercial well, getting 4 kills. He's massive as now. GGA looking to answer.
Yeah, GGA have to find a response, and it's going to be on the weaker side of the map, which is Tomo all alone. No one there to bail him out this time, as Diamond was on a reset and looking to come back to lane.
Oh, mid.
Good look from Golden Guardians Academy trying to find some gold, but as we talked about before, UG linking hands with Spyrex. They don't necessarily find a kill on a Concept or a Blaze Olive, but they just get the crash in for free. It doesn't grant first brick quite yet, but just one more wave unattended to by Golden Guardians Academy, and that will be the first brick gold.
Do you want to praise Golden Guardians as, you know, ABO, this matchup, it was Spyrex winning out heavily on the first skirmish. It got ahead, and if Yasuo gets ahead, he can really win this 1v1. Oh, hold on.
Round 2.
Whoa,
okay, well, Concept's about to go Mega, and he has the Gnar this time. Oh, no. It's an unfortunate flash from Kumo, and Acadian and Concept are willing to punish. Huge shutdown going over to Acadian.
Well, I'm going to return to the ABO point. That was a good one. Blaze Olive, he needs to get out of lane in order to do something in this matchup as the Ari. The control ward set up on the bot side for Golden Guardians really did help enable that play onto Tomo. That was from the Dragon, as there has been quite a trade on the map, but FlyQuest looking to regain control of this bot side. They're going to try and force Array and Hustlin off a few waves.
Can't go for any further because Acadian and Blaze Olive are already in rotation. And Hustlin is pulling out the firepower with the Solar Flare. It gets 2 summoner spells out of Tomo. Once again, a flash. And I guess the cleanse was used in the prior skirmish before where he was picked off. But for Golden Guardians Academy, I like that they are not afraid to pull the trigger once they see an opening.
It was Tomo alone, no cleanse, and there's a big item advantage on Array. And really, that's where my eyes are on for this game, for Golden Guardians, because Array, he was one person not involved in that top skirmish that went so heavily in favor of FlyQuest, is on the Jinx, has the early Kraken Slayer, and for Array, you know, we know him as this great team player from his time in Amateur, stepping into Academy. He's been really good the last couple of weeks. I think him and Prismal are really hitting it off as a lane. And now with Hustlin, we'll see if Array can utilize the gold lead that he has to really help his team in this one. It's a tough task for Array, but if Golden Guardian's going to win this, Array has to be up here.
Yeah, with all the focus towards the top side of the map from FlyQuest, both Kumo and Spyrex and UG have been raking in the gold. It's really on Array's shoulders, but he's going to require the rest of the team to set up the pieces so he can knock him down easily as this Jinx. Acadian getting in UG's face. He was just trying to see if he could get some more gold into Kumo's pockets off of those plates. It's about 15 seconds before the plates completely disappear from the rest of the map.
So you get the flash out of Acadian. That could be big, as we do have another Dragon spawning here in 40 seconds. I gotta say, FlyQuest with the lead they have at the moment. If Silas has ult and is able to grab an engage tool, I think it's a good fight for FlyQuest.
Take stock here, Cubby. We've now passed 14 minutes into the game. At this point, we're exiting laning phase, and we are going into the mid-game of this side of the matchup. FlyQuest and Golden Guardians. Multiple mythics completed. And Arrow setting up this dive. Yuji, oh, but good flash from Concept. Is able to escape the seismic shove combo from Yuji. Could have been detrimental to Concept and Golden Guardians top side of the map had that turret gone down.
And that hop, too, that forced the flash out of Yuji as they had to try and pull that play off. So Concept, he's really been grinding out this Gnar and Champ Q. Someone that didn't play the meta top laners when he first got in Academy, but has been working very hard this split in order to add those to his arsenal. Showing some of the practice on Gnar there. Able to get an extra summoner spell to Yuji to try and pull off that play, and escapes as well.
You know how we said before that, you know, one more wave unattended by Golden Guardians means the mid turret kind of falls down. The first brick now goes over to FlyQuest. Golden Guardians are going to rely on their win con in this dragon stacking, as they're now 2 dragons away. We have a fight here. Solar Flare already used, but it was sidestepped by both Diamond and Spirax. Good wind wall from Spirax. Blocks out a charm from a Blaze Olive. Looks like no fight will be had from Golden Guardians.
Gonna say on that mid turret you're bringing up, FlyQuest got no local gold, so worth for GG. Alternative League Science, Rafa. Take that gold away. That said, it is second Herald, as Golden Guardians did make their play for the Dragon. 2 dragons for Golden Guardians is good, but they're down in gold. See if Hustle can find Kumo.
Okay, Kuma still has Flash. Pops the stasis and flashes to
we get another
reposition
Gnar.
himself, and he's got the Gnar ultimate. He's looking for at least more than one person. They've already taken on Hustlin, and now it's just squishy characters on the side of Golden Guardians. Concept going Mega can be the only frontline member reliable to face check, but FlyQuest still have plenty of tools, and Golden Guardians realizes it's way too dangerous to continue.
I do like how FlyQuest, you know, they already got the Rift Herald. I think it's good discipline, them backing off there, as if they are a couple members at half health. Ahri, Viego, Jinx resets are scary, so might as well just return to the map, the side waves, manicure those in your favor, and FlyQuest will be rewarded with potentially a top outer turret because of that decision. Concept there to defend, so not the case, but still, like the choice from FlyQuest.
It's so close. Literally, you just need one more wave, and you need no one from Golden Guardians being there in order for FlyQuest to knock it down. It's not going to happen for the next couple of minutes, as long as Golden Guardians have pretty decent vision control set up to protect this side of the map. They need to hold on to this top side of the quadrant, because as we get further and further into the game, if FlyQuest, if they're the ones controlling this side of the map, and then it gets so dangerous for Golden Guardians if they fear that FlyQuest will go for a Baron play or look to push them off.
And my concern right now for the side of Golden Guardians is I think they need to get Spirax and Kumo in the 2 side lanes. Leaving Tomo up here alone, I think you want to have him mid. He's vulnerable to dives, but also Yasuo wins both side lane matchups into Ahri and Gnar. So, oh, hold on.
Oh, that's a good pick on the Diamond. Flash. Can he get away? But
no
the
ult.
Solar Flare still available. He's going to bail himself out, but no one is close to dying on the side of GGA. Good pickup from Golden Guardians Academy. It's not an objective that they can really go for, but they are going to return to the side lanes and start shoving them in.
Sam was trying to help Tomo in that top side. Good thing for Kumo. He will take that bot turret, so not a play for free, but Golden Guardians are able to find a pick. It's something. You really still want to see Spirax in a side. He wins against both the Gnar and the Ahri. I think keeping Aphelios mid, smarter move here for Fly. See if they end up making that adaptation, but at the moment, looks like Tomo wants that top wave and trying to get that top outer, the last outer turret FlyQuest said you have to take that.
And that could be just Tomo expressing that I need the gold. I need to make sure that I'm relevant for the rest for this game. Spirax, though, looking for a pick potentially on Blaze Olive. A Teemo emote for fun. Pops him out, and now Blaze Olive throws out the Everfrost and the Charm, but he has to flash away from the Steel Tempest.
He didn't have that Spirit Rush up yet, as it's just coming off cooldown now. So Spirax, I do like. He did get mid-cryo, did do something with it. You can see FlyQuest. They had that bot wave crash, so they shifted Kumo mid. It's a 4-1 play with Herald on the top side. They want 2 turrets. Very good macro play coming out from FlyQuest here.
See how much more they can get. It's still a full health second-tier turret. Hustlin waiting in the shadows to see if FlyQuest stepped a little too far forward. Acadian popping the Herald path, Hustlin approaching, and the rest of FlyQuest immediately see the reinforcements from GGA. They're going to back off. They will not get the full turret.
And that's it on the play for FlyQuest. I think they should reset and try and gather themselves for this dragon, as it is an Infernal Soul on the map. 45 seconds still, a potential soul point for Golden Guardians Academy.
Yep.
I would say much needed. given the fact they are a bit behind, and that bonus damage on a reset comp could really help them close the gap when it comes to that gold lead.
There'll be a couple of big items to watch out for FlyQuest. Zonias and Stasis for Yuji. Yeah, that's
a little greedy from Tomo. It will force Concept to show top, but Concept, he can just build up his Mega Bar and TP in, so it will be FlyQuest being late to this Dragon setup, and Kumo, he's caught.
Yeah, Zonia's already used before the fight begins. Concept isn't quite Mega, but he's halfway there. Kumo, oh god, this could be difficult. Bailout comes out. Can they get the damage out? It's not yet, but Spyrus, a huge 3-man ulti off of the seismic show from Yuji. But can Spyrus carry that momentum forward? No, it's Golden Guardians, and it's Jinx. We've talked about Array and his ability to clean up fights once the dominoes are set up to knock down. And they were knocked down, all right. Yuji and Tomo still alive. No smite available for Golden Guardians Academy, but Yuji, I don't think it's safe for him to enter.
That's a mistake from Tomo and FlyQuest. Staying top for that wave, not worth it. You got a pickaxe? Who cares? Golden Guardians get map control and cash in. Love the aggressiveness coming out from both Hustlin and Ablaze the newer members on this Academy squad, really making that play happen for Golden Guardians and getting them back in this game. That's a sole point now for GGA.
We're going to take a look back at this replay once again. You already noted it before. As soon as Kumo learns the Zonias and the flash, Hustlin, no questions asked, no hesitation.
And Tomo's nowhere close to this. It's a 4v5. FlyQuest, if Tomo bases with a team, they don't give GGA this window. Instead, takes the wave. GGA takes the window, they cash in, and they're back in this game. Soul, Infernal's not the strongest, but it's a reasonable way, especially with the Dragons being stronger for Golden Guardians Academy, to have more damage, try and get the resets, and try and bridge the deficit that they had early.
I mean, whenever we talk about compositions that have multiple threats on them, it usually becomes a question of there's no one really defending this backline of Array, so everyone's got to be strong so that if one falls, there's still 3 other carries. And Infernal, that's going to give you the extra damage pad so that everyone is just as strong. And for FlyQuest, you're going to have to deal with multiple threats now as we get closer and closer to this late game. Oh, huge pickup, huge damage onto Yuji. Whoa, Super Mega Deathwalk. It's almost taking out Yuji. It's not enough. It won't fend them off. But can they? I don't think they can do Baron right now. There's too much vision in FlyQuest's side that would step them off of it.
No, they can't. And I really like where the waves are right now for FlyQuest. This was an attempt mid for Golden Guardians Academy, but look at the 2 side waves. Golden Guardians have to clean those up because they are on their side of the map. So losing out on those golden resources, FlyQuest taking advantage of the strength of their side laners in the Yasuo and the Sylas in that chain of events. Tomo able to escape. No summoner spell burned. Not bad for FlyQuest. Is now GGA forced to respond, and it's their turn to have a power play mid.
Multiple ultimates were already used from Golden Guardians, Solar Flare, Super Mega Death Rocket, and Spirit Rush down. As you called it out, FlyQuest now, they have the resource advantage. One wave might be enough to take out the second tier turret in the mid lane. It's gone. And if we continue going back to FlyQuest and using the strength of those side lanes being built up, that is going to be the question. How can Golden Guardians Academy break that pattern?
I think for GGA, it's all about 4-1s and having a Blaze Olive collapse. You've seen the Ahri, taking angles with the Spirit Rush plus Everfrost. Very strong already in this game, and here we have another.
Oh, right on the Tomo. Forced to use the cleanse already, still has Flash. And that's a Blaze Olive, just, getting his money's worth. Using Spirit Rush. It's a very low cooldown at this point in the game. Looking for another one. I got the flash to the Tomo, and yes, the charm whiff, but still, good looks for Golden Guardians Academy, because now, the next time they look for Tomo, that's 2 summoners held down.
Okay, I really like the play from Ablaze Olive, but FlyQuest now have a power play. Ablaze Olive does not have TP. His ult's down. He has to base as he was low. FlyQuest will take that and start the Baron.
Kumo on bodyguard duty right now. Tomo on the most right outskirt of the wave. Concept, as you said it before, it would have to be down to Acadian Heartbreak being over the wall. And FlyQuest, do you want to 50-50 it? We've seen Baron Seals before from many junglers in the Academy League. 3,000 HP. They have a control ward on it. They lose vision for now, but Solar Flare is going to stall it out. Charm can plant onto the back line. Hustlin's in, but Kumo goes golden, and the hostile takeover hits 4 members. Kumo still going in. The bailout does not keep him alive long enough. Array hits it. Concept over the wall. 2-man Meganar ulti. Blaze off, and the rest of the resets are pouring in. The rest of FlyQuest are routed off, and Golden Guardians Academy Academy stand tall for the ace.
In FlyQuest, they get cold feet. They didn't want to go for the flip against Acadian. The Baron damage, it brought them so low, and it was reset city for Golden Guardians. Array was untouched, and Concept, his Mega Gnar was simply better compared to Kumo's. That helped Golden Guardians wipe this fight as FlyQuest. I like the idea, I like the attempt, but they have to go. Kumo has to make this play onto Acadian, force out the ult early, get the flash early, do something, because if you do nothing, look at how low your team's getting from this Baron.
And this solar flare landing onto the back line of FlyQuest. It's so damn good. We thought the hostile takeover would have been enough to turn things around, but Concept, undeterred, finds his moment, leaps on in, knowing that Tomo had been down summoner spells off of a Blaze Olive's work in the fire skirmish before as well. Takes opportunity, and now Golden Guardians Academy not only find themselves incredibly strong with the Baron buff, but now find themselves right on time for this Infernal Soul.
10 seconds away this time around. FlyQuest are grouped up as 5. Tomo's gun setup, I think, very good for this fight. Gonna have to try and control Golden Guardians, who, no, they do have the option to drop this dragon and try and play for gold, play 4 turrets. And with that push mid, thanks to Baron helping them, it is going to force FlyQuest to enter through bot.
And I wonder if Golden Guardians Academy just play back and forth.
ABO's
Blaze Olive on the right side.
Oh,
remember, Tomo still doesn't have sums. If Tomo steps too far to the right side, Solar Flare slows him. Good win roll from Spyrex. Okay, but the stasis from Blaze Olive. This is going to buy time. Concept, about to go Mega, has to hop backwards. Battle lines will be reestablished once again. Diamond still has hostile takeover, can look for it if Golden Guardians Academy dive far too deep into the backline. It's all about protecting Tomo and setting up Spyrex for a massive wombo with the last breath. 2000 HP. UG Clutch steals the dragon, prevents Infernal Soul from Golden Guardians Academy. A handshake onto Hustlin brings him right on back into FlyQuest Academy's hands. Spyrex goes golden. Stopwatch, bailout. He's burning down, and Kumo's way too low. He has Mega Gnar, but he's way too low to go back into the fight. Tomo has to be protected, but he gets hit by the charm, and Array gets to clean him on up. Kumo gets routed off by Concept, and the rest of FlyQuest members are all going to fall.
And the way the Golden Guardians is playing with range too. Array and ABO were so big in that fight. Kumo was chunked out. He was never able to get in range to cast a Kingslayer this entire time. And yes, the dragon goes over to FlyQuest, but Golden Guardians, this is at least an inhibitor.
An inhibitor. Maybe Nexus turrets, I'm not sure. They're going to see how far they can push it, but man, this replay, just look how this fight erupts.
So Kumo, he gets taken so low before this, and watch this zap from Array. Array's going to hit a zap on the Tomo. That's what enabled Golden Guardians to chase. It's the rocket against Spyrex, then this zap. It's so big. Sidestep from the W. Look at this W. That slows Tomo. Gets him in range for the charm to hit from ABO. Array, he was the one that was given the gold early. He was the only member of Golden Guardians that wasn't victim of that horrible topside skirmish that was so FlyQuest favored. And Array on the Jinx with no Tom Kench, no Thresh. The ability for Golden Guardians to find these plays, as you mentioned, Rafa, be very strong on the map and just enable Array to go untouched from the backline because of the chaos that they are creating. Array on janitor duty has been fantastic in this game.
Yeah, shout outs to Unicorns of Love innovating the chaos style back in the day, Covey.
What do you mean? That's always been the NA developmental scene, man.
Maybe Academy is just taking inspiration from UOL from those
chaos
days.
style, that's the probably quote right there. All right? Yeah. That's NA, baby.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Chaos style.
Oh,
For
God.
Golden Guardians Academy, memes aside, this has been an absolutely incredible turnaround after the mid-game. And really, Array, it's hard to always look good on a Jinx, outside of from just cleaning up kills, but if you're able to set up kills, then it's even more fantastic. Golden Guardians Academy, gotta be careful on this one. Handshake pulls Hustlin right into Unraveled Earth. Can they clean up on this one? Kumo going in with the bailout. They get one more kill, but Array with the stopwatch is able to prevent it, but the carry is down from Golden Guardians Academy. FlyQuest, do they have the option to clean this one up? Acadian's been knocked out. It's up to Concept in a 1v3, but he's getting kited out. Finds one on Tomo, but Spyrex and Diamond have the damage necessary to clean this one out. And just as we were singing their praises, FlyQuest identify the main threat in Array, take him out, and that's the ace for FlyQuest.
And Kumo somehow found the abscond abduct onto Array in the back half of this fight. The follow-up from Diamond, the hostile takeover, and then Spyrax got in the backline off the handshake. FlyQuest aren't done yet.
Did we caster curse them, Cubby? I feel like
we're good.
Okay. All right.
I still think
always
Guardians favor.
Yeah, man. It feels like that happens a lot. We start like, oh man, they made a really good play. Oh, let's talk about narrative. You know, let's talk about where these guys came from. And then the other team was like, oh, I heard you guys were talking. Let's fix that real quick. And FlyQuest not down and out of this fight. The fact that Yuji was able to steal the Infernal Dragon means that there's another one to play for in the next minute and a half.
And I gotta say, I know we've been singing the praises of Array. Also, I think Spyrax has been really good this game. Like going into ABO, Blazeol has been making play after play. But Spyrax, that win wall to deny the follow-up onto the charm that landed, that was step one in helping FlyQuest turn that around. Spyrax's scoreline, the damage, his ability to get the back line, that kept FlyQuest in the game. Good to see Spyrax stepping up against some tough competition that has come into Academy late. He knows this matchup. We were saying that he could play it. Doing it in the ABO. Good to see. Gonna need more fights like that, though, if FlyQuest want this game go in their favor.
And Golden Guardians Academy have sectioned off all the vision control on the top side. They're starting.
Oh, instant start. Love this.
And
they melted.
Hesitating whatsoever. Hustling, holding the choke point for now.
This is gone.
I mean, FlyQuest.
This is gone.
It's move or now. Now or never. They've walled them off,
Look at
but
ABO.
can they really get in there? ABO looking for the flank on the right side. Good Everfrost onto Tomo.
The wind wall.
But the wind wall blocking out the damage. Tomo now into the Blaze Olive. He goes down. It doesn't matter about the rest of the damage from FlyQuest. You got to protect Tomo on the bike side, but they successfully routed him off, and Golden Guardians were sectioned off by Yuji and Kumo, so they could not assist on the flank that ABO had set up for them. Kumo, Abscond Abduct, links on to Acadian. I don't think they want this fight anymore. Acadian looking back for the reset, flashing in. Oh, but it's all a bait. He's still got a GA, but no Heartbreaker to get out of this one. Knockup from Spyrax. That's the shutdown for FlyQuest.
This game's a banger, Rafa. We got minions hitting the Nexus turret. We have an Infernal Soul up, and FlyQuest.
Oh, God.
They denied that at least two members off the Baron. I love the call from Golden Guardians, but the way that Tomo was able to get out of ABO in the back half was massive. Now we'll see if FlyQuest can get back out on the map and try and contest this.
You got to start it up. I mean, there is a solid 25 seconds before Acadian's back on the map. Even 5 seconds before a Blaze Olive is up. But FlyQuest, little conscious and scared of Concept's Mega Gnar being in position, but they finally brute force their way in. They're burning down this dragon, and another Infernal Soul has been denied by FlyQuest.
All right, it's officially a certified banger. I'm saying it, Rafa. This game, this has been a back and forth game between two teams that we really feel like are surging in the back half of the split. Golden Guardians, this late roster change. It's a tough situation for them, but I really feel like a Blaze Olive and GGA making the most of it in this game. But FlyQuest, some of these fights, the setups they've had, they've simply been able to deal with it better. And I gotta say, Spyrax, again, that fight, the wind wall to prevent ABO from getting onto Tomos, the Felios, that was the big difference. The way that Tomo was able to outplay that on the back half was huge, as the play doesn't connect for a Blaze Olive. Golden Guardians drop something again, but they still have a Baron push and a strong Jinx.
Oh, Weaver's Wall. Oh, they looked for Concept. Kumo tried to section him off, but he's over on the other side of the wall. Caden's here for resets. A Blaze Olive watching, but is spotted on a ward. He's
they got him
for Spyrax. Oh, but they got the reset on the Kumo. And hustling with the Solar Flare. Hostile takeover from Diamond. How much time will it buy? It's huge.
Spyrax.
Huge reset knockup from Spyrax. The last breath. He's on the backline. He takes out Array. Look at Spyrax go. Spyrax slicing and dicing them down to pieces. Spyrax saving the game off of a huge last breath. And FlyQuest get the ace. Maybe they march it down to the Nexus.
Spyrax, that was the nastiest EQ NATO flash I've seen in a long time, as Spyrax having to go into a Blaze Olive that was just subbed in. This guy in his second split of Academy was fantastic all game. He got to pick the matchup, and he made the big play in the back half as FlyQuest, that last breath from Spyrax, that's going to be enough to make sure this Nexus goes down in their favor.
From Supernova Dark Matter to Maryville University, and now Spyrax living it up on the Academy stage in Proving Grounds. He takes the dub for FlyQuest in their first game against Golden Guardians.
What a game, a back and forth banger, but Spyrax was so big in so many of those fights. And that EQ flush, that is not an easy Yasuo mechanic to pull off, but it's what we expect from our academy players. And Spyrax stepping up so huge in that fight. I mean, Kuma went down. That was a 4v5. The wind wall saved the game first, and then the last breath again. Massive play for Spyrax. That's going to be first in his highlight reel, man. That was huge.
That is the type of play you want on your resume when come off season, right? And LCS orgs are looking for mid laners, and Spyrax says, hey, look at this play. Check out what I did. Under pressure, too. EQ flash, like, first of all, as you already called it out, that mechanic is not easy. And when you pull it off, like, just normally for, like, a play that's like, oh, we didn't need it, but, oh, it looks cool. To do it under pressure to save the... Oh, my God. Like, what? Spyrax, man.
That was damn good. Honorable mention the diamond. Those hostile takeovers against the dive comp. That last fight, that was another big one there. But, God, a back and forth banger. I gotta say, wouldn't be mad if this series goes to 3. Hope we get more like that.
Oh boy. Well, Golden Guardians Academy, they still have plenty of good looks that they can take going into the second game. Maybe it does bring us to 3, but we'll find out when we come back after this break.